Hey everyone, welcome back to 5th grade math. Today we're going to do Word Problem Wednesday, and this is Ms. Delgado. So for your introduction, the materials that you're going to need is paper and a writing utensil. If you do need to go get it, go ahead and run and grab it now. Just pause the video. And our objective is that you'll be able to multiply fractions with word problems by enforcing the cubes problem solving. And then there is the standard if you want to pause and read that. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to do is just because you guys haven't been reminded of it in a bit, we want to go over cubes with you just one more time. So here we have C, is we need to circle key numbers. And a question that you can ask yourself is, what do I know? For you, that is underline the question. So what am I being asked to solve? For B, it is box math action words. So am I going to add, subtract, divide, multiply, or something else? For these problems that we see, it's most likely gonna be an action word that goes along with multiplying, since we're multiplying fractions. E is for evaluate. So what steps do I take? What information don't I need? And for S, it is solve and check. Does my answer make sense? And how can I double check? And we're going to go ahead and jump into a review from yesterday's that I promised you guys. So it says 3/5 of the students in a room are girls. 1/3 of the girls have blonde hair. 1/2 of the boys have brown hair. And then here are two questions. What fraction of all the students are girls with blonde hair? And what fraction of all the students are boys without brown hair? So we're going to focus on A first. So 3/5 of the student in a room are girls. So I'm going to first just draw a classroom. Alright, so there's my classroom. And it tells me that 3/5 of the students in a room are girls. So I'm going to cut this up into fifths. 3, 4, and 5. That says best I can make, but I'm going to just fix it a little bit. Alright, that's a bit better. So 3/5 are girls. So I'm going to highlight the girls in yellow. You can't see because of the background. We're going to use white for the girls. Okay. Girls equals the white color. So this is girls. That's 2/5, and here's 3/5. Meaning that these 2/5 at the end are the boys. So I'm going to use this salmon color for the boys. Okay, so there's my classroom. 3/5 are girls, 2/5 are boys. So now it tells us 1/3 of the girls have blonde hair. So what I'm going to do is I need to focus solely on the girls right now for at least the first question. So here's the girls, and I just scored that with purple just so you can see it more. And it says 1/3 of the girls have blonde hair. And that goes along with question A. What fraction of the students are girls with blonde hair? So 1/3 of the girls have blonde hair. So let's go ahead and chop this purple block up into thirds. And we're going to do this horizontally. And so I will do that with blue. And then just to make sure that you guys understand that this is thirds, is that this is 1/3, this is 2/3, and this group is 3/3. So don't focus on the vertical lines. It will mess you up, but just It just needs to be horizontally cut up into thirds. And remember, we want to make sure that it goes out to the other end because it will make it easier for us. And you'll see why when we try to figure out our answer. So we just cut up our girls in the classroom into thirds, but we know that 1/3 of the girls have blonde hair. So I'm going to just color this blue, and I'm going to put that these girls are blonde. So now we're going to create our fraction. So what fraction of all the students, and that's a hint, all the students are girls with blonde hair? So we have 1, 2, 3 little boxes on this. So that's pieces. And then our denominator is how many pieces of all the students. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The fraction is 3/15 of the students are girls with blonde hair. Alright, so let me erase some of this. And now we're going to focus on the boys. So here's my classroom. We're just going to redraw this one more time. So remember, my girls were the color white. So there's 3/5, and I just got that from that first sentence there. And then my boys were that salmon color. And I'm just going to fill that up again. Since right now we're going to start working on question B. What fraction of the students are boys without brown hair? And so we know that 1/2 of the boys have brown hair. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a square around the 2/5 of the boys because we're focusing on the boys right now. And it says 1/2 of the boys have brown hair. So I'm going to use a different color, and I'm going to chop this up. Hopefully you guys can see this. So I'm going to just make a line, a horizontal line across. And so here I have 1 group and 2 groups. And that's exactly what I need for 2 halves. And so it says that 1/2 of the boys have brown hair. So meaning this and this, they both have brown hair. So 2 pieces have brown hair. Brown. I'm just going to put 2 brown, but that's 2 fractions of the class have brown hair. And then our denominator is the whole class. Out of all the students, it says it right there. All the students. So meaning we count this all up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2/10 is our answer for B. So you guys could simplify this, both answers. If you guys didn't get 3/15, another answer you could have got is 1/5. And then for 2/10, another, oh, I'm sorry. That's not right. Oh, actually. So let's just go over how to simplify. So 3/15. I know that 15 is a multiple of 3. So I'm going to divide this by 3 to the top and bottom. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that's another answer you can get. And then for 2/10, we can go ahead and also do that. And I know that 10 is a multiple of 2, so I'm going to divide both the top and bottom by 2. In other words, divide by 2 over 2. And we're going to get 1 on the top and 5 on the bottom. So it's both the same answer for each question. Alright, awesome. Let's go ahead and move on to our question 1 for Word Problem Wednesday. So we're going to do cubes with this. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, in a cookie jar, 1/4 of the students are chocolate chip, and 1/2 of the rest are peanut butter. What fraction of all the cookies is peanut butter. So the thing we're going to do is we're going to circle key numbers. So I'm going to first circle right there. 1/4 of the cookies are chocolate chip. I'm going to also circle half of the rest of our peanut butter. So those are the 2 key numbers I'm going to go ahead and circle. For you, I'm going to underline the question. So what am I being asked to do? We're being asked to find the fraction of all the cookies that are peanut butter. So we are done with that. B, we're going to box math action words. So for this one, we don't have an action word that just says multiply. So our math action word, I'm going to say is one half of the rest, because that tells me another step that we need to take. So we're good with this. E, evaluate. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can take out any of this information. So 1/4 of the cookies are chocolate, 1/2 of the rest are peanut butter. What fraction of all the cookies is peanut butter? So it looks like we can't cross out any of them. And then let's look at what else it asks us for E. What steps do I take? What information don't I need? So the steps we're going to take is we're going to first draw our cookies, like a pan of cookies, and we're going to cut it up into fourths. And I'm going based off here. And then we're going to do it into halves, because we're going to, basing off that. And we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to use red. Alright, here is my pan of cookies, or my cookie jar, I mean. 1/4 of the cookies are chocolate, so I'm going to cut this up into fourths. Okay, so there it is in fourths. This section right here, I'm just going to actually write it down right there. This is chocolate chip. Okay, we don't know what each of these are, but we know that half of the rest, meaning this is the rest, and half of it, so I'm going to cut it in half horizontally. Half of the rest, so 1, 2, 3 boxes of it are peanut butter, and I'm going to just label that in a different color. This is all peanut butter. So then what fraction of all the cookies is peanut butter? So here we have 1, 2, 3 blocks, or 3 pieces you could say, over, and then we count up all of the remaining pieces. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 3/8 is, what is the fraction of cookies that are peanut butter? 3/8 of the cookie jar is peanut butter. And I'm just going to write that down. This answer is 3/8 of cookie jar is peanut butter. Alright, so for our next problem, I'm going to set up C, U, and B, where you guys will set up E and S, and I'll give you some time to do that. So let's go ahead and apply cubes to our problem. So first we're going to circle key numbers. So let's just read it first. Sarah has a photography blog. 3/7 of her photos are of nature. 1/4 of the rest of her friends. 1/4 of the rest are of her friends. What fraction of all of Sarah's photos is of her friends? So I'm going to first circle. I'm going to erase some of the marks I made. 3/7 of her photos are of nature. 1/4 of the rest are of her friends. We're going to underline the question. So I know the question is, what fraction of all of Sarah's photos are of her friends? Okay, awesome, we got that done. And then for box, so as I mentioned in the last one, these word problems don't just say multiply. It is difficult to find what box math action words we need to, find. So what I'm going to box is of all Sarah's photos, because that will tell us that we need to focus on the remaining. So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. Go ahead and evaluate. Remember that this is like what steps are you going to take, okay? And then S is to solve, as you guys already know. So go ahead and take a few moments, and we will go over it in a few. Alright, welcome back. Let's go ahead and go over E. So what you could have said for E is drew blog as a way you could say it. Cut into 3/7. You don't have to do this on paper. I'm just so that you guys can see what I'm writing, and just so you can remember. I'm going to erase this in just a second. You're going to cut 3/7, and then you're going to cut 1/4 out of rest of blog. And that should be what evaluate should have been. We're going to go ahead and jump into S is to solve. Alright, we're going to make a square. I just like squares. I think they're easier to work with, and that's not a square. Alright, there we go. So here's her blog. We're going to cut this up into 7ths as best as we can. Let me make sure I have it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to clean it up as best as I can. You guys don't have to do as perfect as I need to do, just because, you know, I want you guys just to understand as best as you can. And doing this, making it as even as I can, will just make it easier for you guys. So here we have our block our blog, cut up into sevens, and 3/7 of her photos are of nature. So I'm going to put green. And I'm going to highlight it actually, because we can actually see that. Here's 1/7. Here is 2/7, and lastly here's 3/7. So this is of nature. 1/4 of the rest of her friends are in the blog. So we're going to focus on the rest. So I'm going to box the 4/7 that we haven't touched yet. So this is the rest. And it tells us that 1/4 of the rest are of her friends. So we're going to cut this up into 4. So I'm going to make a horizontal line just right in the middle. And then make some cuts right there. And there I should have 4. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we are golden. And so 1/4 of them are of her friends. So I'm going to bring out my highlighter in purple. There's one. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. One of these is what we need to fill up. Because 1/4 of them. Because remember, this is 1/4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why we filled one up. So what we have to do now is, what fraction of the photos are of her friends? So this is where we count up these blocks. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our denominator is how many blocks were there total. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 4/28 of the blog are of her friends. And we are able to simplify this. So what we're going to do is, I know that 28 is a multiple of 4. And we can just go ahead and, just do that real quick. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and there it is. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 7. So meaning that our denominator is 7 because it's 4 times 7 equals to 48. And then we divide that by 4, and that's 1. So 1/7 is our answer. All right, for question 3, this is your turn. Go ahead and take your time. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes to complete this. And go ahead and get started. Alright, welcome back, guys. So let's go ahead and do cube. So let's circle the key numbers. 5/8 of the photo are of food. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't even read it. So if you read it by yourself, but Rebecca has a photography blog. 5/8 of the photos are of food. 1/3 of the rest of the photos are of her family. What fraction of all of the Sarah's photos? Oh, I'm sorry, that's supposed to be Rebecca. Is of her family. And support your answer with the model. So circle key numbers. 5/8 of the photos are of her food. Photos. 1/3 of the rest are of her family. Underline the question. What fraction of all of Rebecca's photos is of her family? Box math action words. All of the rest is what I'm going to circle, or box, I mean. Evaluate, we're going to make our blog, cut it up into eighths, show the 5/8, show the 3/8. 1/3 of the rest of the family of the photos are of her family, and then we'll find our answer. So let's go ahead and start solving. So here is the blog. We're going to cut it up into eighths. I'm going to make a vertical line just straight in the middle. I'm going to cut up on the side, so now I have four. This is cut up into fourths now. The next thing I'm going to do is make a line in each of those fourths, and that should get me to eighths. And let's just double check. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. So 5/8 of the photos are of food. Sorry, I'm reading this. I keep jumbling my words. So we're going to do this in purple. 5/8 of the photos are of food. So this is one of them. This is, okay. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5/8 of the photo are of food. So this is the rest. And then 1/3 of the rest are of her family. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut up the rest up into thirds. So there's 1/3, there's 2/3, and 3/3. Meaning that this section right here is of her family. Okay? And so now we're going to get the fraction. So there's 1, 2, 3 pieces inside this. And then our denominator is the total amount. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 3/24 of the blog are of her family. And then we could simplify this. I know that 24 is a multiple of 3, and we can just show you right there. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, and finally 24. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is, and we can count it here. I'm going to use a different number, or color, I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 1/8 or 3/24 is your answer. Thank you guys so much for watching and for participating in Word Problem Wednesday. Remember, the objective was that you'll be able to multiply fractions through word problems by using the cubes method, just to help you guys a little bit more. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and have a good rest of your day.